everybody. This is Jenn Folk, and I have Paul Ieson with me today. We are going to talk
Hello.
about his new book that we have out. You said is it on audio?
It is. I got 10 stories out of the 20 stories done for audio. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
and
Let me.
it's ghost stories and paranormal nightmares is what it's called.
Okay. Let me make sure I have the right one first. No,
Yeah,
that one. There we go. This is the awesome book cover. Check that out. Ghost Stories, a collection of chilling tales.
yes, ghost
So,
stories and paranormal nightmares, a collection of chilling tales.
all right. So, because it's ghosty and that's why we're on paranormal proximity, where did you get are these ideas? Are they just things that came in your head, or is this actually based on your experiences?
Oh well, some of these stories are true,
Okay.
and then some of them are completely made up, and some of them I just kind of either elaborated on or just pulled them out of my butt, that kind of thing. Um,
Okay.
I would say 7 stories are true in it. It's based around Millbury, Ohio. That's where I'm from,
Hmm.
outside Toledo. And I've got stories in it like about the house across the street where the guy cut his head off with a chainsaw.
Oh my.
How do you do that?
That's a good question. How do you do that? Oh my
And
goodness.
I've got um, I've got some pagan gods in there, like Rhiannon coming to do her Reaper thing,
Hmm.
and I've got shapeshifter type stuff going on, and um, that kind of really cool stuff that you can grasp it and you don't have an issue with it. Each story in the audiobook is probably 10 minutes long, except for one. I took Jack and Kristen and put them in one of the stories way back last winter
Yeah.
before things got all rocky. And and that story, do you remember, since you are from around here, on Route 6 in Bowling Green, there's the
Yes.
old poorhouse.
Yes.
Well, I went to the poorhouse the first time with my buddy JD on my bike, and then my memory kind of took a twist. And this story is about that poorhouse, but it's absolutely nothing like the poorhouse. The poorhouse is now a museum. It's a
Hmm.
Wood County museum, and that's really creepy with ghosts. And there's other stories. Uh, the very last story is a story that it's not true, but it's about basically what I wanted to happen when I used to think about what happened if I died and left my grandkid to herself,
Hmm.
without giving any spoiler.
Yeah.
That kind of,
So you've lived in Mulberry your whole life then?
no, ma'am. I
Where'd you
lived.
live?
I lived. Let's see. There was the South End, the North End,
So
Sedona.
you've lived in the Toledo area more than not.
More than not, yeah.
Okay. What are some of the urban legends around that area? Because I know that, and did you put any of them in there?
Oh,
Because
I
I
did.
know there were like, what was it? Bloody Mary was a big deal when I was growing up.
Bloody Mary. Well, that's a big deal. That myth seems to be everywhere. I put Sedona. Sedona. I put the Secor Hotel, the 425 building, right
Hmm.
next to the Commodore Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Commodore Perry apartments now, and because the Secor, it's extremely haunted. Everybody in the place knows that it's haunted. You see stuff all the time. There's who was the porter? He was the bellhop. Everybody sees him all the time, even though he's been dead and gone for a long time.
Right.
Uh, I did not put in the book the oh, what the hell was the name of that building? The Collingwood Arts Center. I didn't talk about that in the book. That place is one of the places that's extremely haunted, and you've got the old what's his name? I can't remember his name, but it's the old priest and the nun. They used to sell the kids on black market back in the early 20s.
Holy crap.
And so there's ghosts there. Supposedly, the nun will walk around a building and haunt the building, and the evil entity. I think it's the priest.
Mhm. Well, do we, I mean, because I don't remember, other than the Bloody Mary urban legend, I don't remember any other urban legends.
Well, there's
I,
Holcomb Woods.
what's that?
Holcomb Woods off Route 6.
Don't know anything about that one.
Holcomb Woods is the wooded area, and I'm going to write a story about this at
Hmm.
some point. I started it, and I got my facts wrong, so I had to. I just put it off after that.
Right.
But Holcomb Woods, there was a school bus full of children that went off the road, and the children died. And
Hmm.
supposedly, you can see orbs all over the place, and there's the old train tracks that used to run through there, and there's an abandoned train, locomotive style train that's still back there. Uh, and there's a set of tracks where if you stop on the tracks, the kids will push you off the tracks.
Wow.
You if you
Okay.
put baby powder on the trunk of the car, you can see
Hmm.
the handprints of the children that pushed you off the tracks.
And that's in Wood County, right?
That's Wood County.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I
Yeah,
never went anywhere near Wood County when I was younger. So, other than I think my first encounter with anything in Wood County was my junior year in high school because I never went outside of Maumee, Toledo area. So, I
yeah.
didn't hear, shockingly enough, I never heard of that.
Holcomb Woods is Pemberville.
Hmm.
So that's probably why you never heard of it.
I mean, it's still around the area,
Mm,
but
The
it's
Oliver,
still Wood County.
the
But,
Oliver House is haunted.
the what?
Oliver House, Maumee Bay Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that place is haunted.
That
Uh,
I
Toledo,
What was that? What's that one over by the high level bridge?
uh,
Oliver House.
that's the Oliver House. Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
I mean,
Searcy Shop used to be down in that
yeah, I've
in the
heard
basement.
about haunted places, but I haven't heard urban legends, which are totally different thing. So like, oh, you're the only one I said, like I said earlier, was the Bloody Mary one, and I was just wondering if you knew of any, being a longer Toledo citizen than I.
Toledo Yacht Club, that's haunted. You've got the Bone House, which is like south, or it's like Eastern and Broadway in the south
Uh-huh.
end,
Yeah.
where one in Toledo went in there, and the cops went in there because the guy that bought the place, there was thousands of bones inside the walls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
When did that come to fruition?
this was probably 6 or 8 years ago. 24 News caught it. Uh,
Wow.
they they supposedly did analysis of most of the bones and said they were all animal bones. But the house is extremely haunted. And when they put it through renovations, the house got more haunted.
Mhm.
And now they want to turn this place into a restaurant.
Ew. That just doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah,
I
well,
I mean, I don't
what
know.
can you say?
Eh, what is that hamburger haunted hamburger in Jerome is supposedly super haunted, and
Yeah, I've been
you
there.
know, they it's an eatery, very good hamburgers. Very good
Yeah.
hamburgers. But, I don't know. I got a thing about when I'm trying to sleep or when I'm trying to eat and little ghosties trying to mess with me. I'm good on that.
There were well, the Secor Hotel that I mentioned.
Mhm.
The piano player who used to work for the Commodore Perry as a piano player back when the second floor was open and all
Mhm.
that. He killed himself, and it used to, as you walk into the Secor Hotel, there was a banner right above, and then you had the whole beautiful open space of the rest of the lobby that was on the second floor. Well, he jumped off of that and hung himself right there at the front doors, and that's probably what closed the place. And then
Wow.
you had the ghost girl that used to sit on one of the sets of stairs and ask everybody if she saw her daddy.
Oh.
And there would be full blown apparitions.
Yeah,
And
ghost children are creepy, but I don't like it when they're like, "Have you seen my mommy? Have you seen my daddy?" Because then it's like, "Oh, my heart breaks for you. Let's go find your
and
parent, your ghosty parent."
that
But
was
Toledo has a long history of, being haunted. So I would imagine that gave you a lot of inspiration for your book. Now, I know you said that you had used about 7 real instances in your life, but what was, I guess, why did you put these short stories together in a collection? What made you do that?
well, I had to put the short stories into a collection because it would make an awesome book. That it's
Mhm.
got he put them in big font so you can read them really easy, and they're probably 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000 words long, except for the one story that's several. I think it's like 3,000 words or something.
Mhm.
And short stories were put together because they all ended up being about the same thing. So why
Yeah.
not just shove them into a book? And then you have an audiobook, and it's my bestseller. Everybody loves it. The bar that's probably 3 blocks from me,
Yeah.
that's haunted, and but that's one of the embellished ones where the latest guy that died by the train hitting him on the tracks, uh, he ends up haunting the bar.
Okay.
Well, in reality, he's not the one that haunts the bar. It's a woman that haunts the
Oh, so they got it completely
bar.
wrong.
So I didn't get it completely wrong. I just changed things a little bit.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
just changed things a little bit. Yeah,
Got it.
that's all.
Okay.
And you know, I live in a haunted house, and we bought the house that was haunted.
Mhm.
Uh, the realtor even said, because the lady Betty who had the house built in the 50s,
Mhm.
she was married to at separate times to 2 different men, and they haunted this place. And they would do things like she was impeccable. She was one of those spotless ladies that's all she had to do with her life after her people died.
Yeah.
And so she either did that or she'd stick her feet in the pool. And she never got in the pool. She just stick her feet in the pool. But these guys would do things like leave a heart. She would dust the whole house, and next morning she'd wake up and there'd be this heart shaped dust on the counter. And this guy used to open refrigerator when the refrigerator was in uh, this room right here, which is the laundry
Mhm.
room. And I would shut the refrigerator door, and he would open the refrigerator just to be a smartass and let me know I was there. He'd do that kind of mischievous stuff, but he wasn't really bad. When I was in the shed, he would take my tools and put them on the other side of the shed, and I'd have to go looking for
Oh,
them.
so he thought he's a jokester.
So he was a jokester. He just wanted recognized,
He was
and
harmless.
yeah. And the other guy, I never really heard too much from him.
Have you ever had, because I mean, there's a lot of homes in Toledo. If for people who don't know where Toledo is, it's literally right on the border of Michigan and Ohio, right by Lake Erie, and it's a very, very old town. It used to be a huge place. For bunch of Fortune 500 companies used to be headquartered there. Had a lot of people that went through there, and not only that, but it is still currently one of the most traveled intersections of the world because 8090, which is the what's it called? The
Turnpike,
turnpike. Thank you. 8090 goes through there. 75 goes all the way from Canada down to
Miami.
Florida. Yeah, so you've got straight shots and we have rail, we have air, there's a little airport there. We've got so
Yeah.
much. So, a lot of people have been through there carrying their extra unseen baggage on top of a lot of things happening there, that whether it's murders, whether it's, accidental, whether it's suicides, that kind of stuff lingers in an area. And I don't think people understand how much it does. It's kind of like the almost the land needs to be blessed for
Well,
everything to go away.
it's
But my question was, have you ever had anything that was so detrimental that you had to get rid of it? Or have you just had mostly ghosties that are just, I'm just here chilling and I'm gonna let you know that I'm here.
well, yeah, I did. In this house, there was this uh, a druid came by. She came by and she bought. I forget what she bought from me off of
Mhm.
Facebook. She lived in Fostoria, and she drove out here, and then she bought one of my books. She was so kind, and we're standing in the garage, and she says, "You know, there's a woman behind you," and I go, "What?" There's a woman behind you. But she didn't really go on about it, but she says she's kind of a bitch. And, and she left. And my dogs, until I got rid of this woman, because it's like every once in a while things would just fall off the shelf and stuff in a not so nice way. It was kind of like they got, really shoved off or something. I
She
got
was
tired of
angry.
it and I sent her away. The dogs, I got two shepherds, and they refused. They did not like to go in the garage at all. You had to make them go in the garage. Ever since I got rid of her, they love
You're
spending time
fine.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, I will say shepherds are very I don't know if it's any different with any other dog. I know the animals all are able to see certain wavelengths and frequencies that we can't. But my 3 shepherds, one of them, she's seen probably 6 different ghosts here at this house, because you can see her just looking at things, watching, and you're like, "There's nothing there." And the dog's looking at you like, "You don't see that?" One time she followed somebody through our room that left out the wall, and she was kinda surprised by that. She's like, "Where are you going? That's not an out." So, kinda took her by surprise too, but, I think shepherds, but I think they're the greatest anyways, but I think shepherds are very sensitive, but
shepherds do rock. I mean, the most that happens anymore is because my dogs are older, so they're always sleeping,
yeah.
and is something will get knocked. It will sound like something was knocked off the counter and onto the floor,
Mhm.
and I'll walk in here and there's nothing on the floor here in the kitchen.
Yes.
Or I'll be sitting watching TV with the TV's against Willow's wall, and I'll see something peeking around the corner, and it'll continue to peak and move and peek and back up and peek and back up until I say, I saw that, I see
Mhm.
you, and
Right.
I don't see it anymore.
And
That's
then
the most.
yeah, and once you're like, "Hey, I recognize that you're here trying to get my attention," they kinda
Yeah.
stop.
As soon as you get my attention, because I'll do something that'll really make it shut up. I'll say, well, if it's so important, you need to show yourself
Right, right.
then.
Why can't you just be out straightforward right there? Why you gotta throw shit around in my house?
Yeah. Don't throw things around. If you got something to say it. I mean,
Right.
I don't care that you're here. Just behave.
What is your earliest, your earliest kind of, dealings with the paranormal? What is your earliest memory of one of those instances?
Oh, gee. You drew it at me. I got to think about this for a second here. Oh,
Because I know that we all have that one moment where
yeah,
we're like,
yeah, yeah. The day before the Secor Hotel closed,
mhm,
I was 5 years old. We hadn't moved to Pearisburg yet. We were living in Pearisburg Township on 5 Point. And the day before the Secor closed, the Blade put an announcement in that the Secor was closing. So my parents went to the bar, which was on the first floor, which is where the bar is now, by the way. And well, how do I put this? I'm standing. I'm just standing by the bar. My parents are at the bar, and I'm just standing there. And this little girl walks up to me and asks if I'd seen her daddy. And we had just talked about this.
Yes.
And me being the smartass that I am, I said, "I am your daddy." Every single shot glass on that bar exploded.
Dang. That's crazy.
I swear to you. I swear.
That's crazy. Wow. I've never had anything that in your face, but that's crazy. I mean, that had to have changed you for the rest of your life, which is probably why you've written a book like Ghost Stories. So that's pretty awesome, though. What is one thing that you want, kind of give us what was your favorite story in there?
Well, my favorite story is Random Stop out of It's called Random Stop. And the farmer, one of the farmers, there's four farmers around here, but one of them, if you go down my road across 795, he still has a barn there. And there was a house there uh, that he tore down. It
Hmm.
was falling down. And he went ahead and he tore it down after he read the story. But the house was being rented out, and as much as anybody knows, they picked up and they left. So I went over there and I took pictures, and then I came home and checked the pictures out and proceeded to write the story Random Stop, where the main character goes up to the front door after he's looking around the property. He doesn't walk inside because it's so decrepit, but something hits him in the head and he gets knocked out, but he doesn't realize he's knocked out. All he's doing is watching the family the day that they left. And there was an incident, I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's an incident that wasn't too nice. And then he wakes up on the ground and people are standing over him and ask if he's okay and all that kind of stuff. But that's my favorite story.
That sounds really good. I like how you told it and you didn't give any spoilers. So you definitely, if you haven't heard or read of any of Paul's books, you need to. Um, wild imagination, wild imagination on you, Paul. So, how many drugs did you do in your younger years that gave
I'll
you
never fucking tell you.
that?
I had a strange one.
Well, let's be honest. There's really nothing else to do back in Ohio, but
Yeah,
it's what it is.
so I write sci-fi, fantasy, and time travel and horror stuff.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
try to stay at a level that I can keep my mind from going dark. You know what I
got it.
mean?
Yes.
We know so many people. We know so many people that do splatterpunk and things like that.
Hmm.
I can't go there because if I go there, there's going to be issues. I
Yeah.
don't need you know exactly where I'm going with that. I don't
Yes.
need to go there.
Yeah. So,
So,
what's next on the table for you?
book 3 in the Immortal series.
Okay. How
I'm
many
going to
books
do
are in
that.
that series?
2
Is this
so far. There's 2, so it's
right?
going to
But
be
how
book
many
3.
total? Do
Out
you
right
have
now. There's 2.
right? I understand that. Do you have more planned? Is it like a four
No,
book
no,
series?
no, no. I'm
Or
sorry.
okay, I'm
That's my
sorry.
bad. That's my bad. Third and final book of the Immortal series,
Okay. All right.
and probably another horror book. There's a book that I'm thinking about doing about Fort Meigs,
Ooh.
and it's going to be a little bit. Well, a lot of it is. It's going to be historically accurate. The historical part will be accurate, and the rest of the story will be fiction. And
Right.
it goes
So it's
along the
based
line.
It's based
with
in
the
re in on real events or real
yeah, it's based on real
places.
events. And I went and talked to the curator last year at Fort Meigs. I thought there was only like 500 men there. There was over 3,000 men that were at Fort Meigs.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so because I started writing it, and then I found out I didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
I hate when that happens.
So
You're right in a spot and you're like, "Oh shit, I should probably research this."
I should probably do some research on it. So it's been on the back burner.
Yeah.
And then there's still that spiritual book that I was thinking about doing. That I don't know. I'm,
That's
I'm
still up
still
in
on
the
it.
air.
That's still up
Okay.
in for debate.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook using my name, uh, and you can find me on Amazon at the moment. We're going through some stuff with Amazon right now and some other publishers, but or sites or whatever you want to call it. But Paul Ieson, spelled Ieson. You go there to Amazon and look me up. It'll take you to my author page or whatever, and you'll be up to date on everything because we're still using Amazon. If I'm
Yeah, we're just we're
correct, we're just
we
not.
went
It's non-exclusive.
right, exactly. Have you checked Books and or Barnes and Noble yet?
My you can get my books at two of my books at Barnes and Noble.
Okay. I
You
wondered
can
if
get
it
all four of my books in the main library, Toledo Public Library. You can get all four of my books
that's
because I
right, I
took them
forgot
down
about that.
and gave them to them.
Yeah.
And there's Perrysburg, Bowling Green. You can go down to Bowling Green and get my books. You can go to Genoa and all that. So all the libraries around town, they have my books. And I had a couple people email me after reading my time travel book, talking about how
Sweet.
nice and cool, great it was, or something.
Nice.
And yeah, that was like really awesome. I never
I
expected
lo
to hear anybody, you
I
know,
love that. I love that. I love it when the readers and people that you have no idea even exist message you and they're like, "Hey, this was awesome." You
that just
know?
puts you on the top of the world.
Yeah,
There's nothing. I, I don't do drugs, so that was like
anymore.
the drugs for the day anymore. Listen to you.
But for you, so we're looking forward to book 3 in your Immortal series, and we are is there going to be another ghost stories? Do you think another conglomerate of a bunch of different shorts or
It's another short stories. I don't know. I know I like writing short stories because that's what we did in high school was write short stories and then go on
Mhm.
school paper. So you only had 1,000 words worth of space.
Right, right.
So you had to be as elaborate as you could with that 1,000 words, so it would make sense. Um, that was my training with the short stories. Uh, I don't know. There could be.
Have
There
you
might
given
be
any
something.
have you given any to Word Peddler magazine?
I have. Random Stop went to Wood Peddler magazine.
Okay.
Was it Random Stop? Was it this? Was that the story? That was in
I
Wood Peddler magazine, what, a year ago in the summertime or something?
Okay, so you haven't given them anything recently.
Well, I was the one I told you about. It's called Inside Out. It's got
Mhm,
Jack and Christine. That was supposed to be in Word Peddler, but things got screwy, and it
mhm.
didn't Peddler for this last issue.
Okay.
I mean, but, with everything that's been going on, it, I'm not going to complain about that. It's like minor with everything.
And
what's up.
sometimes she misses too. I know that there's been a couple of stories that I've given her that she's been like, I didn't even see it. And it's like, that's okay, whatever. So, but definitely look for Paul on Amazon, Barnes and Noble website. You have a website as well, correct?
Yeah, you had the
Okay.
address for that.
And
I
it
think
is tigger.great hyphen
Tigger Icing.
site
Tigger
dot
Icing.
net. No, it says
Tigger,
Tigger.
Tigger Icing. It
No,
says
no,
Tigger.
it says just Tigger.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, tiggericing.greatsite.net.
Okay. That's okay. All right. So that's the site that you can get him at. You can also find him on Angry Eagle publishing website as well. We have author
Yeah.
pages on there too. So and you can find him almost everywhere, Written Undead. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on the Book Asylum, all those Facebook pages and stuff like that. So definitely check him out. I think you guys will be very pleased reading his books. It's a whole new world. And that Immortal series, you definitely need to grab it because it just takes you on a whole nother ride.
You
So
read the
I
first one of those. You
yes,
you you read Immortals Among Us, Life is a
it
Dream.
was definitely a very interesting view into some of what your thought process was and how you viewed um I don't know, what would you call that? Hell, purgatory? I don't know. What was that? The
No, it was
other
wicked.
side?
Well, no, the Immortals lived in their world, and they lived in this world at the
Yeah,
same
but
time.
what's their world?
Their world is shadow. The astral world.
There we go.
Some
It was
people call
such
it
an you
never,
had
never.
such an interesting take on that I just absolutely loved it, and I want everybody to do your damnedest to read this book. And
It's even got
definitely
talking dragons in it. So,
and definitely do not miss his new one, Ghost Stories. We wanna make sure that we put that out there for you, so thank you so much, Paul, for being here. I really appreciate it, and we look forward to having you on next time.
well, thank you, Jen, for finally getting me on a podcast with you.
I've been so busy. Anyways, thank you for being here in Paranormal Proximity. We will check you guys later. Have a great one.
Have a good one. See you. Bye.